So in this video we'll study about a pathway called as pentose phosphate pathway. Or this is also called as HMP shunt. Right, so it's also called as HMP shunt or hexose monophosphate shunt. So this pathway, it takes place exclusively in cytoplasm, and in this pathway two things are produced. Number one is NADPH. So what is the function of NADPH? So it helps in reductive synthesis. So it helps in synthesis of cholesterol, steroids and fat in our body, and it also helps protecting the cells from oxidative stress, and it acids phagocytic cells, which is used in respiratory burst. So this respiratory burst primarily occurs in neutrophils and monocytes, right? So this pentose phosphate pathway is actually a branch of branches off from glycolysis. So it is a metabolic pathway which occurs parallel to glycolysis as it branches off. So this pentose phosphate pathway is needed to make sugar in DNA and RNA. So as we discussed, it produces NADPH, and the second product is ribose 5-phosphate, which is the byproduct of PPP, which is the pentose phosphate pathway. So this ribose 5-phosphate is used to make DNA, right? So this consists of two phases. One is oxidative and non-oxidative phase, right? So now coming to the pathway. So as we all know, in glycolysis, glucose breaks down to, glucose is converted into glucose 6-phosphate, right? So this glucose 6-phosphate also branches off from glycolysis to form a parallel pathway where this glucose 6-phosphate is converted into 6-phosphogluconolactone. So in the presence of enzyme called as glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase. Right? In the presence of an enzyme called as glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase, and here NADP plus is converted into NADPH, right? And this 6-phosphogluconolactone is converted into 6-phosphogluconate in the presence of enzyme called as 6-phosphogluconate. So in the presence of an enzyme called as gluconolactonase, here water is used, and this 6-phosphogluconate is in turn converted into ribulose 5-phosphate in the presence of enzyme called as 6-phosphogluconate dehydrogenase. Here again NADP plus is converted into NADPH and CO2 is released. So this takes place in oxidative phase, right? And this ribulose 5-phosphate is in turn converted into ribose 6-phosphate, and this can be used in the production of DNA or the nucleotides. So in the presence of enzyme called as ribulose 5-phosphate, isomerase. So I'm sorry, the end product is ribose 5-phosphate, right? So this is used in the production of DNA and nucleotides, and also in oxidative phase it provides more some other byproducts. So those byproducts can be used for the reaction of glycolysis as well. So this is the main pathway where the glucose 6-phosphate is converted into ribose 5-phosphate in the production of NADPH as well as ribose 5-phosphate, right? So coming to the clinical significance of pentose phosphate pathway. So the clinical significance: a patient with deficiency of glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase presents with a disease called as von Gierke disease, right? A patient with the deficiency of G6P dehydrogenase has von Gierke disease. All right, so this is all about pentose phosphate pathway. I hope you guys are clear. Thank you for watching.